Hello and welcome back. Today we're continuing the market analysis that we did yesterday. There is a ton of setups that are ready, that have been preparing, that are looking very interesting that I posted in the Discord. It is quite interesting because it is July, but what triggered a lot of it was the headline risk that we're going to look further into with the Iran war. I mentioned that yesterday. So that is going to be quite the interesting thing to look into. We're going to get to that. Also, I've been delving into a lot of theistic literature here. This is a Catholic Bible, 73 books. Protestant Study Bible, 66 books. I even have the Quran that I'm reading. Getting there, getting further. But I've read all of them many times before. And also, I read the Tanakh. You guys know the Tanakh? It's often confused with the Torah. People think the Torah is sort of the Jews' Bible, but it's not. Obviously, the Torah just means law. The Torah is also the first 5 books of the Bible, with the 613 laws and all that. I've been reading the Tanakh, and it's like if you don't take it serious, if you read it like fiction, it is kind of funny because God comes down to these bunch of Jews. And he's like, yo, you got to do this and that and this and that. And they're like, nah, listen to this. I got this argument and shit. And God is like, that's a good argument. Oh, you really got me there. And they like debate back and forth and like, what? You're debating God? He was wrong? He didn't even know your argument and shit? He came unprepared? That was crazy. That's the only reason I'm bringing that up is because that's how the market is feeling right now. Like, the market is always quiet in this month, but for some reason now, it's popping. It's popping. So we're going to get into that. It's going to be interesting. Also, why I'm wearing the hoodie. If you want the cool version, I don't really have one. If you want the lame version, it's just for the thumbnail. There we go. We got the thumbnail. So I'll see you on Bloomberg. All right. So starting out on Bloomberg here, Iran war supposedly ended. It is more or less what we could have expected. U.S. hails the deal that declares war and gives Iran relief. So most importantly for us is reopening the Hormuz, not something Israel gives a shit about. You can read the 14-point plan. I want us to get into that as well. So regarding, they're not going to let us read that. It's Bloomberg. What kind of name is that? So this is a Tanakh name. So they're not going to allow that for us. So 14-point peace plan. Here it is. So I just want to break it down for you guys and share what I think about it. So Iran and the United States together with their allies in the current war. Yeah. This is immediate ending on all fronts, including Lebanon, which is interesting. We're going to talk about that. Yeah. And undertake that from now on, they will not launch any hostile actions against each other and will refrain from the threat use of force against each other. The final agreement will confirm the provisions of this article and the remaining articles. So this is very hard for me to understand. The United States and Iran won absolutely nothing. They gave us all global inflation. They cut economic forecasts for growth. We got higher interest rates all over the fucking world. They replaced Shamini or Jamini, whatever the fuck his name is, with Shamini, his fucking son. So they killed his dad, blew off his arm and shit, and so they replaced him with a more conservative figure, and that's somehow a win. Right? I don't know if he's more conservative, but a more staunched in his position figure. So Iran and the United States undertake to respect each other's, yeah, okay, sovereignty, territorial integrity, and to refrain from interfering in each other's internal affairs. Iran and the U.S. undertake to negotiate and reach a final agreement within a maximum period of 60 days. So 2 months, extendable by mutual consent, meaning they both can extend it. Nothing special with that. Immediately upon signing the signing of this memorandum of understanding, the United States lift the blockade and prevent any interference or obstruction against the Islamic Republic of Iran and restore traffic with a maximum of 30 days to its full capacity. The traffic of ships shall be proportional to the pre-war volume of traffic. We have not seen that fully yet, though. Okay, on Iran's part, the United States, I'll just cut it down. The U.S. also undertakes to withdraw its forces from the surrounding area within 30 days after the final agreement. The U.S. is hailing this as a victory. How? Okay, let's keep going. Upon signing this memorandum of understanding, Iran will immediately take steps to ensure that the movement of merchant ships from the Persian Gulf of the Sea of Oman and vice versa is resumed within 30 days. Persian Gulf is the Strait of Hormuz, pre-war volumes, taking into account the need for the removal of technical obstacles, technical mines, yeah, and the neutralization of mines by Iran. There we go. The U.S. undertakes, together with its regional partners, to create a comprehensive plan agreed upon by both parties for the rehabilitation and economic development of Iran, while ensuring financing of at least $300 billion. The U.S. is going to involve an economic development plan for Iran. So they're paying reparations. The implementation mechanism of this plan as part of the final agreement will be formulated within 60 days. The U.S. commits to ending on a schedule to be agreed upon as part of the final agreement. All types of sanctions and blah, blah, all that bullshit will end, and UN will shut the fuck up. They'll get to business again, back to normal. Iran reiterates that will never produce nuclear weapons, blah, blah, blah. There was never any anyways. Same fucking shit with Iraq. Iran and the U.S. agree that pending on final agreement, they will maintain the status quo. Yeah, go back to normal. No new sanctions. Yeah. The United States undertakes that immediately after signing of this memorandum of understanding and the date of the lifting of sanctions, the United States Treasury Department will issue waivers for export of Iranian crude oil, petrochemical products and derivatives, and all relative services, including banking, transportation, and the like. So Iran, they get a fat sanction relief, they get reparations, and they have more of a hardline stance now. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to continue, or no, we're not going to build any nukes, which they have always been saying. So, what the fuck? What is this? I don't understand this. Is this some kind of the US is dipping the fuck out and Israel just jumping back in without the US? I don't know, because like I've mentioned in a previous video, from the Israeli viewpoint, their geopolitical stance on this is that it's existential. Iran has to go for two reasons. Iran has them surrounded by their proxy enemies, and secondly, Iran is the second hegemon in the region. Israel wants regional hegemony. So what I mean by their proxies, we're talking about Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis. Those are the famous ones. But there are also militias, Shiite militias in Iraq, and others. Okay? Let's keep going. This is a fucking loss though for the United States. This is a fucking loss. A win, like whatever they say, a win would have looked like the U.S. changing regime. Some new motherfucker comes in and he's like, I love America. I love Israel, and I'm gonna do everything for both of them. And like, yeah, like the Shah coming in, all right, or his son. The United States undertakes that in the light of the process of negotiations towards a final agreement. Okay, frozen or restricted funds and assets of Iran will be released and made fully available. So the fucking Obama implemented Iran deal that Trump called a disaster, he is now re-implementing. What the fuck? Okay. These funds, whether held in a master account or transferred, will be used for any final beneficiary payment determined by the Central Bank of the Islamic Republic of Iran and will be fully available for use. The U.S. undertakes to issue all necessary permits and blah, blah, blah. The Iran and the U.S. agreed that an implementation mechanism will be established to oversee. Yeah, everything will be all right. Following the signing of this memorandum of understanding and upon receipt of assurances regarding the commencement of implementation of these articles, this memorandum of understanding, and the continued implementation of these steps, Iran and the U.S. will enter into negotiations for a final agreement solely with respect to the remaining articles. So they're gonna have another round, and I don't know what's gonna happen then. The final agreement will be approved through a binding resolution of the UN Security Council. So that's basically America's Security Council, anyways. But yeah, so the markets are gonna like that. But this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, honestly, this is the dumbest shit I've seen. They go to war. They're talking about weapons of mass destruction. Absolutely fuck all happens. Americans die, spend money, worldwide inflation, reinstate the Obama deal he called bullshit, and then Iran gets reparations. They get their frozen funds back. They lost. Trump going to make a speech now that they lost. It also does seem that the U.S. really, if you noticed in the vernacular, there was no talk of Israel there. There was no talk of Israel. So does that mean it's not binding to Israel? I mean, nothing is binding to Israel, but in a legal sense, is Israel going to ignore it? Are they going to keep, are they going to stay at war with Israel? Or what are we talking about here? The reason I bring that up is because the bullish momentum we're seeing now, at the expectation we had to pull back and then huge bullish movement regarding the end of the war, or the potential end of the war, at least on the US part, could be stumbled if it just continues with Israel. And it seems like Trump really doesn't, he wants to be like a good ally to Israel, but he really doesn't want to go to war. Like, we have these old videos of him making fun of fucking Biden, being like, ha ha ha, you dumb fuck, you're gonna go to war with Iran and shit. We need a master like me, so we don't. Perhaps it's that, perhaps not. Anyways, let's keep going. Also, let me just check that obvious, okay? Yep. Regarding dollar index, it's the same as yesterday. There's not even anything to comment. I'm not going to do a market scan today because we're at such a high limit. Regarding the continuation trade that I posted yesterday here that I marked as a valid long, depending on what time frame you entered, I would have personally entered this one on the 12-hour. A sell loss like that. Not that much of a TP. But as you can see, it never triggered really, unless you go on a higher time frame, and you can do a new continuation attempt here and see if it triggers after close. So you can have this open. I'll just leave it open again. As for Euro USD, this broke out nice and clean. I know this was discussed and probably entered in the Discord. Again, I mean, I can't comment directly on it because I'm not entering trades anymore myself. I've reached my monthly cap, but this one you should have been able to hit TP by now. If you got a bit of a later entry, you should be at BE. So I'm going to mark this one as a lock. As for this other pair right here, I saw on the 12-hour, it is now valid. You can set an entry here, but I would wait for the 1 day. So I'm just gonna do that. For this breakout right here, this clearly triggered. Saw this pass yesterday. We got full candle body, even on the lower time frame, going past previous lows. So this, we have a clear trigger here, and this should be definitely by now at least move your sell loss somewhat. Not a lock. No, not even a chance. For this pair right here, this one it triggered on a lower time frame. I don't know who entered it, but there was talk of a lot of people getting into a lot of setups in the Discord. So if you're in this one, I mean, shit, move your TP, bro. And this shit looks like you can get an extension on, bro. When your first candle looks like that, lock that shit. Get ready to extend. If you don't know how to extend, just tag me in Discord. Like, how do I extend properly so I don't fuck this up? And the exact same for this pair right here. Keep the crosspair notion in mind so it doesn't go too far. You don't want to extend on both of them, okay? When you have two crosspairs, don't extend on both. There you go. So let me mark these. Yeah. So we had a really busy like triggering day. And again, for here, it did trigger on the 8-hour, a real nice CR long here that I'm also going to mark. I don't know who entered what. As for this one, as I mentioned in my previous video, I would go for a 1.5 hour and just do the rest through an extension just because of the range on this one and how it's been downtrending on the range. Still a valid trade though, and that puts it actually above my cap. But because there's two locks here, that's the key point. There's two locks. Max risk is de facto 5%. If you're in all of these six and you locked one before you went into another one, so you're at BE and now you're entering another, you're just at 4% risk, you're good. You didn't break no rules. You good, bro? So that said, that's really funny that we had such a fucking strange peace deal and such a strange July market. That's nuts. Usually July is just dead, but I mean, we just had the peace deal. So you guys know, fucked up shit in the world, good shit in the market. Hey, don't hate the player, bro. Hate that game. So thank you guys for watching, and I will probably see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.